Welcome to a video. Today I'm going to be talking about something that I've learned a lot about in the past couple years. My girlfriend is an avid equestrian, and talking to her and the people around her at the barn and her trainer, I've come to learn a lot about horses. And today I've decided to make a video on why horses suck, a showcase of evolutionary drawbacks. So a lot of people will say that someone is as strong as a horse or as healthy as a horse, and to me that kind of makes me chuckle a little. Horses are really big animals, being over 1,000 pounds on average as an adult, but being held on such spindly small legs, horses are quite fragile. So let's take a look at that. Horse legs are thin for what they carry. A lot of the horse's weight is, of course, up over the legs. There are no major muscles in a good portion of the leg, and because of this, there's no real protection on the bone. So what this means for horses is that if a horse breaks a leg, not only is it not going to be held in by more muscles and tendons like our legs are, it has a high chance of damaging tendons, which means you're going to get chronic lameness with the horse. This combined with the fact that if a horse doesn't have one leg working, it can't stand up. It's not like a dog or other four-legged creatures that we're more familiar with, where without only 3 legs they can survive. Horses can't do that as well. They do carry their weight on 3 legs at a time. Usually when they're standing, they'll prop a hoof back just to get more comfortable, but they shift it. And when they get up, it takes all 4 legs. And if a horse is going to be down on its side for too long, this can lead to a lot of health issues. Health issues like that can include lack of circulation, organ damage, they can get their intestines tied to a knot, which leads me very nicely into the next point of poor horse evolution: their digestive system. Horses really have 2, points to their digestive system where they are very clearly not optimized. Horses can't throw up. While on the surface this sounds great, you don't lose fluid, you don't lose food when something scares you, like what happens with snakes. They regurgitate their food. Horses can't do that. Now where this leads to problems is if a horse is choking, they cannot move the food backwards up and out the mouth. Because of this, horses can choke to death fairly easily. And further down in the hind section of the horse digestive system, the intestines in a horse are unfixed. So when I mentioned tying their own intestines earlier, it's quite literally getting their intestines tangled, which leads to a type of colic. Colic is a fancy pants word for an upset stomach, and in people this isn't usually a big deal. People can get colic, but it's usually not something that's life-threatening. In horses, it is always life-threatening and is a huge deal. My girlfriend's horse actually colicked last winter in December, and so I've seen firsthand what the signs of colic are, and a lot of it is horses laying down for an extended period of time. Horses do lay down normally. When they're laying down for too long, usually that's a sign that they're not feeling well. Colic being especially one of the things. You will not hear any gut sounds in a horse that's colicking, usually. You will also see the horse really agitated about its stomach. It'll kind of boop its nose into its side to try to, get at it because it hurts. It's not feeling well. There are 4 main types of colic. Gas colic, where there's a gas bubble in the intestine that isn't moving. There's impaction colic, which is what my girlfriend's horse had, and that is when a horse eats a bunch of hay, right, or feed or something, and usually what happens is there's a weather change, so from warm to cold, and the horse just decides not to drink. And because of that, food does not move down the digestive tract and gets stuck. And the way this is treated is by what's called oiling, which is somewhat controversial, where oil is pumped into the horse's stomach and is supposed to, well, oil the impaction and get it to move past. It is also done with water, and this can be done either through the nose or through a hole in the neck. And that's usually done either up the nose is usually done by a vet when they come and see the horse, and then if they have to go to a hospital, they'll put the hole in the neck for long-term care and long-term treatment. Of course, if those methods don't work, then they have to resort to surgery, which putting a horse under is very, very risky. Horse anesthesia is it's not great. There's a good chance the horse will die under anesthesia, and then recovery from surgery is crazy intense. It's a lot of monitored diet, monitoring the horse. It takes months and months and months. And with twisted gut, your only thing you can do is hope it untwists. If not, usually it's a surgical procedure as well, although it's not as involved as, say, removing an impaction. And then there's spasmoidic, which is when the horse's intestines spasm. And all these problems with colic is pretty much entirely related to the horse's digestive tract and its inability to A, regurgitate, and B, their intestines aren't fixed in place like ours are. So when a horse rolls around, it's a big issue. If you could fix those on the horse, it would be a much better organism. And it just goes to show that evolution, while it favors the horse to be fast, to be able to carry things, it really doesn't work to optimize creatures, right? The legs are thin, so if a horse breaks a leg, it is deadly. But since the legs are so thin and spindly, the horse can move them very quickly, and you get the horse's speed and power from its haunches. And then the digestive tract is more or less a fluke of just what happened. You know, not every disadvantage in evolutionary terms leads to a decreased reproductive success and evolution. Watching, I do have links on the screen for things about colic, about horse legs and stuff, more about why horse legs and why broken legs are deadly to them, and also just general. Thank you.